What did you see in the budget that will provide relief from inflation for Canadians? Obviously, this grocery rebate is going to have some effect, even if for a lot of families it's limited.
Right, and it is a grocery rebate that's basically a top-up of an existing GST rebate. That's the biggest kind of affordability line item at $2.5 billion. But let's talk about what was in this budget before I tell you more about whether or not it's going to stoke that inflationary fire. A lot of people very concerned about this because, of course, inflation is at levels we haven't seen in many decades. So the Liberals were tasked with something that is not easy. They had to walk this fiscal and political tightrope where they had to announce things that people would get excited about without stoking inflationary fires. So we saw a big pivot. This was a budget that was described to me by several economists as a small one for the Liberals. There were a lot of low-cost measures in it, things that I would put under the bucket of consumer protection. So, for example, a crackdown on junk fees. So those extra items that are usually hidden and bump up the final price of things like a concert ticket, baggage costs. They want to rewrite the right to repair rules, so it doesn't matter what tech ecosystem your device is. We're not going to create more e-waste, and it's not going to cost you quite as much to get it repaired. More airline cancellation accountability, for example, and a crackdown and a modernization of federal laws around predatory lending. Those so-called payday loans are included in that. There was also a mortgage code of conduct promised. So a lot of these items, the priorities in this budget: healthcare, the green economy, expanded dental care, and as you mentioned, that one-time grocery rebate, which really has nothing to do with grocery spend. That was the single biggest line item in all of this. So one of the things that is interesting about this budget is it struck a kind of compromise. And I want to share with you some reaction I got from the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. And they talk about their excitement about the fact that, they applaud that there is a deal to lower credit card fees for small merchants, as promised in last fall's economic statement. However, they say the budget was a missed opportunity to provide relief to small businesses facing massive debt loads and cost increases. So there is that kind of compromise where they get some of what they wanted, but not everything. And to the point of, is this inflationary? I've been speaking to several economists, including Craig Alexander, who is the former chief economist at TD and more recently at Deloitte. And he is now at his own shop, and he says, this government, he rightly points out, is projecting deficits for the next 5 years. The debt to GDP ratio increases and declines slowly. The fiscal positions suggest that this is inflationary. However, the question becomes how inflationary, and he says, I think it is only modestly inflationary and probably not enough to worry the Bank of Canada, is the bottom line.
Yeah, and really, at the end of the day, it's an educated guess, right? Nobody knows.
There are a lot of storm clouds brewing. Now, it is interesting as well in the budget. It does predict inflation is likely to get below 3% later this year and below 2%, which is the Bank of Canada's target, next year.
Well, consumers will be happy to hear that. And Gaviola in Toronto, thank you.
A little something for everyone.
Yeah, a little something for everyone. We love that. Thanks very much, Anne.